Escalating 경기장 도시형.
All right, guys. Well, here we are on GSL Daybreak, and up at the top of the map in the blues, the winner of our last game from the team ItsGosu, it is DDE. And down at the bottom of the map in the red from the team ZeNEX, this is Sparta. Oh, come on. I'm sorry, but I had to do it.
No,
what do you
it's okay.
expect?
It's okay. I'm totally on board with that, actually. So, oh boy, yes.
Well, we'll have
Sparta,
to see
DDE.
We'll have to see if Sparta can kick him into a pit, or if DDE will overwhelm him with his immortals. But he's not Protoss, so
yes, that's
can't
true.
really.
Oh, that would have been a lot more fitting.
Well, it would be, yeah. Why does Sparta not play Protoss? He could have immortals.
Exactly.
All right. Well, now
So
I'm
sad.
just disappointed with
So sad.
Sparta right off the bat.
Yes. Well,
well.
who knows? Maybe we'll eventually get to a situation where Huang Zhen's playing him or something like that. He can run a bunch of immortals at him, and then we can make all the jokes we want.
Yeah. Who knows? Well, I suppose it wasn't the Spartans that had the immortals. It's
Yeah.
true. They were fighting against the immortals. In case you're wondering, we're talking about the classical Battle of Thermopylae.
Yes.
Of course. And who would know about Thermopylae, really?
Yes. We're making many pop culture references to the movie 300.
Oh, I was actually talking about the real. Well, I guess
we said this is Sparta and kicked him into a pit.
Well, they didn't say that in the real historical.
This is Sparta.
Somebody in history must have said that from Sparta.
No, of course.
You know,
it was totally historically, factually correct.
Maybe they had family come over and they're like, "Hey, this is Sparta.
Yes.
Let me show you around." This is
someone just wandered around and said, you know, is this Thermopylae?
Yeah, he's like,
well,
this is where we fight.
Sparta.
This is where we die.
Yes.
This is where they die, and we die. I guess everybody dies.
Just figured every Spartan looked like Gerard Butler anyway, so.
I don't know. Even the women.
Probably so. At least the beards.
Who knows?
All right.
I'd love to visit Greece. That'd be an awesome place to go visit.
It would be.
That'd be really cool. But anyway, now it is time for StarCraft 2.
Yes, we have successfully gone past the first couple of minutes of a mirror matchup.
We have.
Wise decision.
And they are both going gasless fast expand, it looks like.
Yes. And
pretty standard on this map.
And a little bit of a market difference. We've talked about the 15cc and the 16cc. Well, Sparta went after the 15cc. And Orbital Command, I should say, I'm sorry. And the GoSu.dde went after a 16 Orbital Command. So a little bit of a difference between these two players.
Yeah, looks like his command center is going to come up slightly earlier.
Yeah.
Looks like Sparta going for his second supply depot before his command center. Actually, a little bit surprising there with that. Because, I mean, you don't really lose a whole lot if you do wait to get that that supply depot. Obviously, you know, you have to stop SCV production for a second, but getting the command center out, you know, that much quicker, it's kind of debatable. It's one of those apples and oranges things. It's not a huge deal, but it's just kind of one of those things you can do as sort of a stylistic decision.
Well, we actually talked about just a second ago 16 OC versus 17 OC, or I'm sorry, 15 versus 16. I apologize. Yeah. And DDE ended up going 16 OC and then throwing down his next CC faster than his opponent, and maybe going for the later orbital commands actually sets you up for a better timing because you have the extra SCV out ahead of time. That you can throw down the command center without having to invest in the second depot so quickly, and your supply actually works out. I don't know. I'm speculating.
Well, the standard is 18 command center if you're going to go 1 racks FE. Generally, it's made on 18 supply.
Sure.
But I'd be interested in looking into that. I'll have to look into that because I don't know exactly how the math works out if you go 16 CC and make the supply depot later.
It's kind of a cool strategy out of DDE at the moment, though.
He went into a math nerd.
He went. He went 2 racks into double refinery back into 4 racks after that. So normally you'll see people with the gasless fast expand go right into 4 racks. Or Thorazine style recently has been to do gasless fast expand, then put down the second racks, and then you double gas and you have a lot of flexibility. You can go up to multiple racks. You can do a quick upgrade timing. You can go straight into ghosts. It offers a lot of flexibility, so we'll see if DDE is going to pursue something similar. His opponent, though, just on 3 racks at the moment.
DDE looks like he wants to make a lot of Marines and do some sort of stim timing. He's got stim on the way right now, whereas Sparta's playing a little bit safer, getting combat shields, not quite as many add-ons early on, so he can make a little, you know, a few more Marines. And I do have to mention, too, DDE generally considers TVT to be his worst matchup. So he always is a little bit more, you know, nervous maybe coming into one of these games than like a TVP, obviously, like we saw our TVZ or something like that. So, you know, we'll see what happens.
And let's see here as both players are now well saturated on both their bases. Sparta only now going up to his second gas, however. Scan comes down from ZDE and should actually see just that. In fact, he does.
Yep.
So
640 scan.
Yep. We'll see how he prepares accordingly. Looks like he's throwing in some Marauders now.
Yeah, and you know, bio in TVT has been something that's kind of been getting, you know, popular again. I don't know if it ever really got out of style in North America, but in Korea, you know, for a long time people were going Marine Tank, going mech. But then players like Slayer's MMA came back and showed people that bio, you know, if controlled right, if you made the right decisions while you played it, could be really, really good on a lot of maps. Not all maps, but a lot of maps. So, you know, I think we're going to see a lot more just straight up Marine Marauder medevac in TVT in the future here.
And Combat Shields just finishes up. He's got enough resources to put on another upgrade here or invest in some more infrastructure, and it looks like that's going to an engineering bay and then stim. There we go. So ZDE moving out with his first attack. This is going to hit nicely with stim finishing up.
Oh, look at that, though. Sparta's going to see it coming. I like the scouting path by Sparta, just kind of looking for this thing. Oh, never mind. He's
going to go right around.
Oh, that makes sense.
Wow.
Because DDE would be going for the third to see if there was some sort of really fast third.
Certainly.
So, yeah, although
it's just a few seconds off.
Yeah, you would never see a third really that fast in this matchup. But he could just be trying to, you know, check just to make sure, look for any sort of proxies, and then maybe move into the second from a angle that Sparta may not be expecting quite as much.
That is a lot of reactors back at home. Supply is about equal for our two players at the moment. Economic advantage for Sparta, however, right now. And there's the scan from DDE. Sees everything that's sitting there, decides, nah, I don't really want to attack into that right now.
Yeah, wouldn't really want to attack into that. He's just going to go home. Nothing wrong with that. Just get out on the map, see if there's a timing you can hit. If there's not, just go back home. No big deal.
And let's see here. Should know his opponent is without stim, though. He did scan at the 640 mark, like you said before. And when he scanned just then, saw combat shields and knows that just with the one tech lab, he wouldn't have had time to research both. But still delaying his attack for the time being, just taking map control. Scaredy SCVs running away.
Yeah, it looks like both of these guys are actually be going for bio, which is kind of interesting. This is a map especially where you see a lot of players try to do mech lately, but I think it's a map that could really be could really work for either.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And we do have a couple of upgrades coming up for DDE now. He did decide to go straight into double engineering bay, basically putting up the armory immediately after that as well. So he is going to be well upgraded, quite a bit, significantly farther upgraded than his opponent, as a matter of fact. But he will, of course, sacrifice a few units out there, as both these players are just going pure bio, like you said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, you know, how they finally end up clashing here. I'm curious to see if they're both going to do very heavy drop play as well, or if they're just going to try to brute force it with a big healable bio ball.
And nice timing there, or not reaction time, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I got them both away.
From DDE, yep, stims away right away. So he's waiting for the next round to come out. And let's see here. He is finished with the vast majority of his upgrades. We do finally have tanks coming now out of Sparta's. He is researching siege mode as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's been something that we've been seeing more and more often in Korea as well. They start out with pure Marine, and they're just moving to tanks a lot later than they used to, too. There was just a TVT I was watching just the other day where that exact thing happened.
Well, the gap for DDE, unless he goes into super drop mode, is or the chance to attack is going to start lessening itself soon, though, because once a couple of defensive tanks go up on this map, really, where a tank like right here can actually guard all possible attack paths into the natural. Similar situation up at the third as well. May have a little bit of an engagement here. There's the stim up from DDE. Stim back from Sparta as well.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the best idea for DDE. Marines beat Marines and Marauders, so I think DDE is going to be in a bit of trouble here. Yeah, ZeNEX.Sparta just coming out a little bit ahead in that one. He does get the medevacs away, though, which is kind of a nice little score there, but definitely a big loss for DDE.
Yeah, but now he's down in supply, he's down in army, he's down a base on top of that, and he has not invested in his siege tank infrastructure, so it's he's only got his first tank out right now. He is double producing them, yes, so he will be able to catch up slowly but surely, but he is quite a bit far behind now.
Yeah, I think he was kind of expecting Sparta to go right into Marine tank instead of just go so Marine heavy early on. So I think it was a bit of a surprise when he moved in and saw quite, you know, that many Marines.
Sure.
Now, DDE's upgrades are going to be great, though. So, you know, depending on what he continues to do, he could still take on the army of ZeNEX.Sparta, even being down a little bit on supply, just because he'll be so far ahead on upgrades.
Yeah, if he's able to move into 3-3 very quickly, which it looks like at least level 3 weapons are going to hit sub 15 minutes, which is pretty ridiculous.
Oh, he'll start it, yeah.
Yes.
Probably finish around like 17 or 18. That's usually about the fastest you can get it out.
Yeah, certainly. And all right, so let's take a look now. What's the tank count at, even for both players? But because, like we said, DDE is actually double producing, he's going to pull ahead slightly. But now his opponent, Sparta, putting up 2 factories at the same time. One just finished up, and there's another on the way as well.
Yep. Let's see. So, Sparta deciding that it may be time to kind of move out. He's got his third. It's all quite safe. DDE, you know, like you mentioned earlier, quite a bit behind because of the delay getting that command center out.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, things not going terribly well for DDE. He's going to need something to happen to kind of shift the momentum back in his favor, whether that's, you know, winning a big battle and being able to take control of a bigger chunk of the map, or being able to, you know, do a drop, kill off some key structures. He needs something to happen.
And he's got a medevac sitting back here, but he knows the range of the sensor tower. Looks like he's moving into that in 2 places. He's even got this attack going through the front. Needs to take control of the Zellmacher tower, but unfortunately that puts him in the range of the siege tanks that are sitting there. And here we go.
No.
He gets 4 Marines out.
Yeah, distracted by the action in the middle of the map, not paying attention to his drop. And this is not going to do well, you know, just the positioning of the Marines will make him kill about as many SCVs as he could hope for with this, but ultimately won't be terribly successful.
You know, believe it or not, though, that right there was enough to get him to make up the difference in the lost mining time from his command center being so late, but now this is going to be an extremely difficult position to break. Medevac goes out, slaughters the first few Marines sitting there for DDE.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be tough for ZeNEX.Sparta to kind of push out of this.
Agreed.
But, you know, he does have the better army right now.
Yes, he does. It's 162 to 169 supply at the moment. 12 worker advantage for DDE means that there's actually quite a bit lower of everything else for him in terms of army. And look at these Marines making their way out, already doing quite a bit of damage to the orbital command. He needs to take out these first couple of units, but oh god, he's got to watch out, running directly in front of those tanks.
Man, huge hits done to those Marines. I can't believe Sparta decided to attack there. He might still barely have enough, but oh man, that was dirty.
Yeah, regardless, though, that actually does throw a supply advantage temporarily back in favor of DDE. He's got to run away, though. Oh, units flanking from the bottom were plenty enough to drive those away. But yeah, not a great spot to engage there, but somehow, just due to the fact that he gets so many units out, makes it work.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those situations where you just have so much stuff, you can afford to be a little bit sloppy, which is never something I recommend, but, you know, it's something you do see from time to time.
And Sparta is eventually going to clean up those Marines that were within his sensor tower range. DDE does have a pretty good position now to receive an attack. Oh, moves up right now and does manage to take out a couple of tanks. 1, 2 go down for the loss of just a couple of Marines. Yeah.
Didn't focus the tanks here. Now does he have enough Marines to hold this off? I don't know. Looks like ZeNEX.Sparta's pulling back anyway. DDE may pick off another tank.
Yep, he does.
Barely getting one.
You know, he got 3 tanks there at the cost of none, just a few Marines. So a good trade there for DDE.
Yeah, things pretty even up right now. DDE's money is getting a little bit high, but his +3 weapons is finishing just as ZeNEX.Sparta's +3 starts, so that's not a bad situation at all. And if DDE can kind of aggressively take a few more bases, we'll see if he can win, but man, that is a scary drop. Oh, flying right over the Marine.
He got a medevac full there. That is a hero Marine. It says 1 kill, but buddy, you have 9.
No kidding.
And whoa! He gets a second full medevac. That is the most cost-effective Marine I've ever seen in my entire life.
Someone collect that Marine's remains and bury him underneath a huge statue of that Marine. Man, that was...
Wow! Oh my god. Okay, so DDE breathes new life into his game from 1 well-positioned Marine.
I guess so. That drop just did not work out very well. I mean, I can't believe he lost 2 medevacs full of stuff. Nice, nice focusing by DDE there to know which medevacs to target with that. Really well done. And that's what DDE needed, really. I mean, it's anybody's game. He's still down a base, and this drop, oh man, this drop could actually do a ton of damage. We'll have to see how many of these medevacs get taken out by the turrets.
All right, well, the medevacs are going to make their way in. At the same time, a few Marines are actually going to scout that little position at the bottom. And it looks like for the moment, Sparta turning around.
Yep, doesn't want to drop into that. I can't blame him. I wouldn't want to either. A lot of turrets there.
True, very true. Supplies about even for both players once again.
Oh, is he going to catch that drop? Oh, ZeNEX.Sparta's being so risky by flying this around the map like that.
Yes, he is. Oh, God, it's just sitting there. Unfortunately, this Marine's not going to be as big of a hero. It's going to be a lot longer before one of those medevacs goes.
Yeah, well, we'll see if DDE can catch him in a position where he's kind of dropping as DDE moves into the third. That could be quite good. Okay, does drop everything off already. And this attack at the space up here may end up kind of coming back to haunt DDE because I don't know if he has enough to handle the next group's army right now. Oh, the Marines.
Oh, no. Boom. Headshot. That was about 15 Marines that went down there. A little less than, actually, more like 10 Marines, but still. Pretty significant loss for DDE, who doesn't have a lot to work with anyway. The superior positioning in this fight does go to Sparta at the moment, so no subsequent drops have dropped down for DDE. Thought he would have sent one out at some point to coincide with his attack up the board.
Yeah, I gotta say, DDE's map awareness has just been great this game. Oh, sending some Marines in to sacrifice themselves, I guess.
Well,
flanking to take up behind, though.
He does pick off a lot of tanks. I've got to say, it destroys the vast majority of his opponent's superior tank position. Has quite a few remaining as well. Will eventually get those all killed, though. So Sparta does find a way to clean that up, but a lot of damage inflicted there. DDE actually running up the side at the same time, and all these tanks are sieging up.
Yeah, this is going to be quite as good for DDE. He's going to lose all these units here.
Right.
May kill off a couple tanks. We'll see. Yeah, gets one, and that's going to be two. Okay.
Almost got a third.
Almost got a third, yeah. This has been such a slugfest, man.
Yes,
these guys have been trading armies left and right, and things are starting. Yeah. Things are starting to pull a little bit into ZeNEX.Stream's favor, just for the sole reason that he's got that 4th base up right now. He's able to produce things a little bit quicker. His income's a little bit better.
DDE is on 87 workers with 60 against 63 with 6 mules on the ground as well.
Yeah.
But he's had this base sitting there for a while and didn't transfer over any SCVs to it. So as you mentioned before, this is a beneficiary of many mules being down, but overall the saturation for DDE is not great. He's way oversaturated at the moment. Looks like these 2 drops may pass each other. Ships in the night.
Yep, drop ships in the night.
Yes, there they go. Ooh, looks like DDE picks up on it, though. If he can stem up a couple of units, he can actually intercept that.
Yeah, he's going to go after those Marines there, and he's going to be able to clean up this drop quite nicely if he decides to do it.
There. He was worried about some units going through the top as well. Flanking from both sides, he cleans it up very cost-efficiently, but that's a big force out of Sparta.
Medevac for every tank.
Oh, here come the SCVs as well to take a little bit of damage, and do that they will, while these tanks from the back for DDE are actually pretty effective. There were a lot of tanks that were sitting there for Sparta, and most of those got cleaned up right at once, but look at that. You are right. A medevac for every individual Marine.
Right now. A little bit of aggression. Oh, but attacking the planetary, that doesn't help her out very well.
No, not at all. And a lot of those SCVs did just get destroyed, but we still have relatively even economic footing for our 2 players. DDE, though, just has a 27 deficit, really just in army.
Yeah, I mean, and again, just not being able to saturate those other bases. And, oh, I don't know about this. Looks like he didn't see the tanks there. Maybe he did. That actually worked out okay.
Yeah, those tanks were completely unsieged and picked off a couple of medevacs at the same time as well.
Yeah, it's just so close right now. Sparta was still the slightly larger army, but that may change now that DDE looks like he might be able to hold on to a few of these bases.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. What is remaining for these 2 players? DDE has the tank lead. He is down in Marines and way down in medevacs at the moment, though. Down by 8, as a matter of fact. However, he is starting finally to saturate a couple of his subsequent expansions, which means his economy is going to shoot up.
Yep, that'll help quite a bit. You notice, though, that ZeNEX.Sparta just has a lot more production. He's producing 10 Marines at once as opposed to, is that 8 or 9? I'm trying to read it from over here.
It's actually tough for me, too. My vision is actually terrible.
Wow.
So.
We're just like...
I am blind.
StarCraft. So, all right. So, an attack here. Nice tank hits, but some nice tank hits taken by DDE as well.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like a couple of tanks are going to go down in return, though, and he's going to try and run his way into this orbital command sitting over on the left-hand side. Forces Sparta's hand a little bit. There's so many medevacs sitting there. DDE can really only hope to engage that with the support of his tanks.
DDE is losing so many Marines from those siege tanks, just kind of poking in. Oh, and a drop from ZeNEX.Sparta. This is going to do some damage here. DDE is not going to be able to... Well, we'll have to see. But here's the big fight. ZeNEX.Sparta coming in right now, and he has got more than enough to handle DDE.
Yeah, definitely. DDE has to run away. He's going to lose a couple of medevacs as they retreat as well. DDE now pulling back to the rest of his forces, though. No tank support at all for Sparta.
Or medevacs. Oh, there they are.
My God, medevacs. Look at that. Sparta initially, because of the first round when the medevacs were catching up, actually lost quite a few units. And then as soon as the medevacs caught up and started healing, just destruction.
Medevacs versus medevacs. And DDE pulling all his SCVs here. Oh, a lot of them getting taken out by those tanks. I think we're about to see the end of the game. What a slugfest, but in the end, Sparta is getting ahead by little tiny bits and pieces throughout the game, and eventually it just becomes too much for DDE to handle.
Yeah.
I'd say this is going to be about it.
Yeah, I agree with you, but what a fight so many times. I mean, especially when we had, let's not forget the hero Marine that that knocked out 2 medevacs full of units. I really thought TDE was going to be able to bring it back then, but now it's going to be a little bit too much to overcome. Down by almost 80 supply at the moment.
GDE is still trying, though. He's going to try to push in, but I think there's just too many planetaries out there. Yeah, the rest of these SCVs are going to be taken down. That medevac is doing pretty well. And, yep. Oh, not a planetary, but still.
Yeah, still going to be, I mean, even if that's lost right there, it's very good for DDE, but it's more critical to DDE that he keep up this base than he kill this base, so, and that's just not going to happen.
Definitely true, yep. Either way, things not looking the best for DDE right now. He's about 80 supply down, so not a position you want to be in.
And looks like the rest of the medevacs are falling. 92 supply to 185, as you mentioned, and oh boy. Looks like he's got one more large force inside of him. He is down by 46 workers at the moment, which does make up some of that supply difference, but my God!
That's a pretty big army. That is a lot of medevacs. That's what happens when you keep making medevacs and just never use them.
Yes.
And here we go. ZeNEX.Sparta attacking at the worst angle possible with those Marines.
Use those medevacs.
Got so much stuff.
He actually didn't involve the medevacs when those Marines moved up.
He's like filing them through 2 at a time, 2 into tank fire. That doesn't work terribly well. These drops, though, are really, really kind of keeping DDE on his toes, and not in a good way either.
Right. Yep. All right, so is there a good way to be kept on your toes?
I don't know, if you're like trying to reach something up high.
Oh, I suppose so.
But
yes, my wife can attest to that.
Hopefully it doesn't take too long, because then it's just annoying.
All right, here comes Sparta, though. Hopefully the medevacs will be involved in this engagement, or not. We're still waiting now. I mean, DD is trying to hold on as best he can, but the situation has gotten increasingly dire for him. He eventually lifted off the orbital command from inside of his main. That's now sitting over inside of his pocket expansion, so he can try and build anything at the moment, but his opponent is just expanding everywhere. Could actually sack a bunch of SCVs in the next attack as well and just replace them with mules.
Yeah, I think Sparta's learned, though, that he can't afford to be sloppy with this. I mean, you can see where he kind of thought, he's like, oh, I'll just move in. He just A-moved his Marines, and then he had to pull back because DDE, despite being down right now, really far down, is still going to be a player that's going to have his Marines and his tanks in a pretty good position. You're not just going to be able to walk right over him.
Sure, definitely. And we do have a drop being singled out to go back home. They are the lucky recipients. They are out of the war. Their fight is over. I mean, actually, he's just taking the long way around. Maybe Hero Marine. Oh, it's actually if you saw the rally path went right across that Marine. It'd be hysterical if yet another Marine killed another full medevac. But we are maxed now for Sparta. Situation is getting increasingly dire for him, or for DDE.
Yep. For DDE, nice tank spread there. Certainly. Still about 80 supply down.
Aw. And Marine's cut in half. Okay, he's got a decent tank line set up. Really has to siege up pretty soon, though. Oh, God, if he doesn't, this would be disaster. Sparta pulls back, though.
Yeah, you can see just how difficult it is to move into a situation like that, even if you have the supply lead. Siege tanks just do so much damage, although this may be the opportunity that Sparta's looking for. Yeah, as soon as he saw it at the tower, he moved in. Yeah, he's going to, well, maybe, nope, changing his mind, decides to move back.
Yeah, pulling back, and he's going to lose not one, but probably 2 command centers here.
A little bit of indecision.
Possibly
Sparta.
3.
It's going to cost him here, but these Marines need to get out of there.
Yes, they do. Yep. And that stim's going to wear out on DDE in just a second. And these are freshly stimmed units.
Yep, stimming again.
That's a lot of death.
Ouch. A lot of damage done to those Marines, and like you mentioned earlier, the medevac count pretty low. Wow, just every command center has a buddy in this game.
Yeah, medevac count pretty low for DDE as a none. So any stim now is permanent damage suffered to those Marines.
Yep. Well, DDE kind of going for it right now. I think he knows he just needs to make something happen here, so he's going. About 80 supply down, though, and the siege up just in time for Sparta.
Yep.
What is DDE to do?
I don't know. This is getting very tough for him, though. That's really just his only mining at the moment. That's not actually really his only mining. That is actually his only mining. And he can just sack a few more of his SCVs there, unfortunately. Tank racking up kills in the back. 14 kills on him. Looks like Sparta's going to move in at the same time, though.
Yep, 9 to 17 there. Sorry, you like switch up me just when I was about to yawn, but it's not going to matter. Okay. So many medevacs for Sparta.
That's actually insane. 38 supply now for DDE. GG is called.
Yeah.
And Sparta has advanced to face the next opponent from ItsGosu. ZeNEX is now up 3-1.